refutation of self postulated by the Samjas Gore. First, we're going to share the view, Samjas Gore's view. Is a non-Buddhist tradition of philosophy founded in ancient India by the Rashi Kapila. So this is a non-Buddhist and founded by long time ago. Usually they say the first part of kind of religion, and also many follow this tradition. Many non-Buddhists goes too. The followers of this system believe that all phenomena except the permanent and unchanging self are created from in or providing primal substance, Pakati. So this goal accepting two things impermanent. Yeah, so first is the accept this permanent is the primal substance. So that is a creator. He create everything, but he don't use anything. So then another permanent is called consciousness permanent. Their use or the object. The except two permanent, other or is impermanent. When this self comes into contact with this primal substance, a series of manifestations such as the intellect, the sense faculties, and the objects of the senses issues forth from it and are then experienced by the self. See, self consciousness contact with these permanent substances. Permanent substances create all this object. Then self consciousness contact with that, and then self consciousness experience all this object. That means like self permanent consciousness use this all object. The primal substance is Zowo, is creator, is a permanent. So that is a permanent. Actually, creator cannot be permanent because create means like you must be impermanent to create other object. But this score says is creator primal substance is permanent, partless and universal matter, which creates and is the nature of phenomena in the experience of the world. So this primal substance, he create all this universal. The primal substance is permanent. What he create all object is impermanent. And then who going to use the object is consciousness. That is permanent. Self-consciousness, that is permanent. So easy just to understand what they're saying, The self is unchanging, consciousness is principle that become bound to the world through its first identification with the manifestation of the primal substances. Then consciousness self is permanent. The consciousness permanent is using this or the object. So permanent substance create or the object. So then this self-consciousness permanent using this object, and that time the mind is become bound to the world thought through its first. First means all object is first. Identification with the manifestation of the primal substance. Primal substance create all this object. So self-consciousness permanent using that object, he is stuck with them. So he joy with this pleasure object. So that's when until he recognize he's stuck with this object, he going to stuck with samsara. So the one that this self-permanent consciousness recognize, so this all is the object is created by the tremor substance, and then object is also the recognized is first, delusion. Then he give up self-permanent consciousness, give up all the object. That time, then the self-consciousness has become liberating. It's called permanent liberating. Self-permanent is liberate. So that is this all is Samjust goes, view. So no, Mayamika, Shantideva, he don't accept that part. Because the reason is this Samjust goes accept two things permanent. Self-consciousness, permanent mind, and tremor substance, creator. So these two things they accept permanent. And then Mayamika said, no, cannot be self-consciousness is permanent to receiving or experience all this object. Because permanent cannot be experience all the object or receiving the object. So that's the Shantideva going to give answer for them. If the consciousness that apprehends sound were a permanent self, so what do you think? We're going to do this way or same as before, go back to individually read one or? Mary like to read, right? Yes or no?
Kempo, you are doing great.
Yeah, keep going, Kempo. We don't need to read it.
you want to go easy way?
No. It's more easy. No, more difficult, but
Okay.
we like.
Okay, so I take care all the hardest. Okay, you go keep easy. If the consciousness that apprehends sounds were a permanent self, so the consciousness is a permanent, then that permanent consciousness received the sound, there would be a consciousness apprehension of sound at all times, even when sound was absent. So the Shantideva said, your mind, the consciousness itself is permanent. It itself is permanent. So then the permanent self-consciousness experience the sound, then he have to experience 24 hours sound because your consciousness self is permanent. If not, then your self-consciousness is not permanent. So that's the main point is Shantideva answer is. Then, but since the consciousness of sound is dependent upon sound, so then your self-consciousness permanent is dependent upon the sound. If there were no sound as an object of the consciousness, then no sound for the consciousness. For what reason and through the cognition of what object could it be called a consciousness that apprehends sound? If there no sound object, then your consciousness not receiving the sound, not experience the sound, then why you call that is consciousness, experience sound consciousness? Because no object. Must be object sound, then your consciousness experience that, then you can say consciousness that apprehends sound. But no sound, and then consciousness no experience any sound, still you call the consciousness is, that apprehends sound is wrong. So if you accept that way, then happening like that, 61 is more another example. If there can be a consciousness that apprehends sound, even though there is no consciousness of sound, See, if no object there, but still you call the consciousness of the sound, then it would absurdly follow that even a piece of wood could become a consciousness of sound. Okay, then Shantideva said, you can say piece of words also consciousness of sounds too. Because the consciousness of sound means like you receive the sound, you have to experience the sound. If you don't have experience of sound, still you say that's consciousness of sound, then you can say this piece of words also you say consciousness of sounds. So no difference. Uh, Therefore, without any object of consciousness remaining close by, we can definitely say that there is no consciousness that apprehends it. So the sound is object is not there, then your consciousness no experience any sound. So that means your consciousness is not there, means not exist there permanently. So it is impermanent. It's depending of the object. When the object is there, your consciousness subject is there. When object is not there, you cannot be subject there. If without object you have without object you have a subject consciousness there, then you can say piece of word also subject. Without object you can say that. Then you just say piece of words, oh, it's subject. You know, even you don't receive any experience songs, still you call that is consciousness songs. Then you can say piece of words also song, consciousness songs. Okay, samjas. So they're going to debate again. Mm. When there is no sound, it does not mean that there is no apprehend of it, is because at a later time when no sounds are present. So that says if that time no object, that reason the subject is not there. So that means like you cannot say subject is not exist. Because later time when no sounds are present. So object is not present, but subject is there, but the object is not there. That's why don't the consciousness sound don't hear the sound. So that's the this samcha uh you know reback to question answer again. The answer or the just say that the view again. Then then also more explain, I think, the previous consciousness of sound become a consciousness of visual form and so forth. See, this subject is changed because the subject is there, actually they don't say change, but object is changed. That's why subject mind receive different object. So sound is not there, so that time then visual object is there. Consciousness receive experience the visual object. So song is not there. But consciousness, there's the same. These two consciousness are one thing. You know, same consciousness. So two different objects receiving. But we think that, right? That's okay to say. This morning I share actually more explain the section. But it's long as you accept permanent, cannot be like that way. You accept just consciousness impermanent, then it's okay. You know, like the consciousness like can receive the form, and when there's no sound, you can receive the like visual object form. Then when is the sound is there, you can receive the visual sound object. So it can change, but that means consciousness also changing. But this Guru Samja says consciousness is self, permanent, not changing. That is the problem. Mayamika, in this case, at the time of that consciousness of visual form, why is no sound heard? So he just push it again, right, Shantideva? You say your consciousness is permanent, then you have to hear all the time sound. When your consciousness experience the object, but that time why you not hear the sound? You have to hear the sound. You cannot stop that. So because it's a consciousness permanent. Samja, it is not heard because no sound exists in the proximity. Proximity. So that says that time song is not there, object is not there, main point. That's why you don't hear the song. So then that means actually the consciousness is impermanent because it's a change. It's dependent on the song object. If the song is there, consciousness can hear the sound, can experience the sound, but song is not there, consciousness is going to follow the different kind of form, maybe visual object, or maybe taste, the maybe smell, some different faculties, like senses follow. So that means like, then Shantideva said, your consciousness is impermanent if you don't hear all the time sound. Mayamika, therefore our consciousness, apprehension of it could not possibly exist. See, that no exist means like no permanent inherently exist. The consciousness is like exist the relatively cannot be exist permanently. So we accept, like example, our consciousness is not permanent. It's relatively we say exist, because relative means like depending the object, relatively exist. So then that's no problem. We can accept that. But permanent consciousness is useless, cannot work with like dependent with the object. So that's why Shantideva said, then maybe your this consciousness not possibly exist. So how can something lose nature? It is to apprehend sound. See, the consciousness is nature. Permanently, it is to apprehend sounds. Ever apprehend visual forms. It could not, because their aspects are naturally exclusive. So there cannot, conscious permanent don't have that kind of ability. Some just their aspects are mutually exclusive, but in relation to two objects. So two objects, visual form object and the song object, occurring at different times. So they're different times. They're receiving different times, not same time. It is not contradictory to say that it is one consciousness apprehending them. So this permanent consciousness experience sound, that time no visual object. When they experience visual object, that time no sound hearing. So the main point they said, so this there are no same time, and then it is the receiving different time. So that's the reason no contradiction. So that's the Samkhya's thought. This is like one person who, in relation to his father and his son respectively, is posted as a son and a father. So see, that says like dependent, right? And the father and the son. So this morning we put example is Thomas. So he has a father, he is comparing to his father, he is a son, but he has a son that comparing to his sons, his father, he is dependent. So relatively he can dependent, but permanently cannot dependent. Permanent means if he is the permanent father, then never ever can be son. He is a permanent son, then cannot be father. So if he is a permanent son, that means like the all sentient beings' son is Thomas. Because he is a permanent son. If he is a father, all sentient beings' father is Thomas. Everyone have to see Thomas is father. So that is not possible, right? That means Thomas is not permanently father, not permanently son. So in this samkhya, they don't understand that logic, They think, okay, so one person can be father, that person can be son, dependent. So like that way, the consciousness can receive visual form object, can receive the sounds, different tones, but that means actually consciousness is changing. It's impermanent, not permanent. So Thomas is like dependent, like his son and the father means he is not permanent. That's why he is dependent. Okay, so no Mayamika, but in your tradition, it's not really true to consider a father and a son as one person, because that's he said no possible. Your view here, Samkhya's view is that you're saying is permanent, consciousness is permanent. The father and the son is not permanent, it's dependent. So that's why the example is incorrect. And also then Shantideva going to give more explain. More explain is like Shantideva, he really looked into the what Samkhya says. Samkhya's goal says there, there accept primal substance, permanent. So that is the cause, the creator. Primal substance creator. So his just main point Shantideva says in the primal substance, no permanently father there, no permanently son there, then your example is incorrect. In your cause, you don't have that. Then how can the example is correct? So that's the he going to explain here. In this case, the truly existing matter, primal substance, so that is the creator, which you accept as a non appearing, so equally balanced state of purity. So these three things balanced together, then they're called the primal substance. So sawa, then activity, raja and darkness, tamaha. So the Sanskrit is like, see, they mention about three things, but English didn't mention about, I think, three things. In this case, the truly existing matter, primal substance, which you accept are no appearing, equally balanced state of practice. Sattva, sawa is one, and raja is second, darkness, tamaha is third. So that they have mentioned about three. Tibet also have three, but I can see English have two only. One is activity, second is darkness. Then any other than that, or there no?
Yes, purity. First one is purity.
Or
Sattva.
purity.
Yeah, purity.
Or purity. The purity means
Purity, activity, and darkness.
purity. What does purity means?
What does purity mean? No stains, perfect, no problems. It's clean, clear, it's pure.
Okay, so then
State of purity.
Okay, so these three things when it become balanced together, so that is
like Chen Rezik. Sorry, purity like Chen Rezik.
So then that balance comes together. So this three comes balanced together. It's called the primal substance. So could be neither a father nor a son because it has true. So there no any son there, no truly no son there, truly no father there in this cause. Independent existence. They don't have any independent existing father and son in there. The apprehension of a visual form does not exist as in apprehension of sounds, because if it existed with that nature, it would surely be apparent. Whereas it is never seen as such by valued cognition. So, so that is like say no father, no son in there. So when you receiving the sound, you have experience the sound. So then actually also in this course, like the premen, you know, the primer substance. In that nature reality, no sound is there, no visual object is in there. So that means like actually Shantideva say, your cause didn't have anything about these qualities there. So he accepted this primer, I think, primer substance is creator. So in the primer substance, they didn't have this, what this Samjas mentioned about these things permanently, not there, no exist. So that's the reason your consciousness permanent is a cannot be, you know, value to cognition. Then Samja going to say again, for example, just as one actor has many different roles, the previous apprehension of songs is later seen in another way, as in apprehension of sound is seen in another way, as in apprehension of visual form. So just an example is Qingjing, you know, the who's the dance and the person inside is not changing, but he only changed the cloth. Performance changing. So same like that. This Samja said the consciousness is not changing, but object is changing. Meaning the subject is not changing, object is changing. So Maya Minka, but then the consciousness can no longer the permanent because it keeps in changing into something else. So Shantideva said, okay, so you say that, then your consciousness subject also cannot be permanent because it's depending on the object. So your consciousness follow this or the object. That means your permanent consciousness no exist. Samja, although the consciousness appears in the other ways, its nature remains the same as before and is permanent. So now they're going to Samja like saying like this little bit different ways explain. You know, there it is nature remains the same as before and is permanent. So the main point that just this subject permanent mind is that is the same, not changing. So always the same, stay same. Nature remain the same. Means like the self-consciousness permanent mind is the same as before and is permanent. It's permanent. But then Maya Minka, but such a oneness of nature is a type of oneness that you have never exerted before. So that kind, you know, like nature remains the same as before. So that's this Samkhya says. And this nature remain is like one, only one permanent. So then Maya Mika said, but such a oneness of nature is a type of oneness that you have never exerted before. We never see like that kind of oneness permanent like that before. Because that means Maya Mika said it's many. Your consciousness is not one permanent set there. Your consciousness is, see, follow the visual form object or sound, follow the sound, follow the tests, yeah, follow the different kind of these senses, then that kind of different consciousness. So the consciousness cannot be one. So many different there is, so you know the actually different kind of consciousness. And this Samkhya said this all consciousness one. Then Maya Minka say, I never see like that kind of one before. All different kind altogether one means like that is not really going to prove in the one. So oneness that you have never exerted before. Samja, consciousness appears in other ways, and although the different modes are not true, their nature is one and true. So that's just main point. Subject mind is permanent, is true. Object or this different kind of object is impermanent, are not true. So that's just the view. Mayamika, but please tell us, what is this nature that is one and true? So then Mayamika told us question again, tell me, what is true, permanent, exist you have? Samja, it is the nature of merely being consciousness. That is one and true. So there say the nature of merely being consciousness, yeah? That consciousness is the clear, clear aspect, kind of like clarity aspect. They don't accept emptiness part, consciousness, but they're just clear, permanent aspect. The all consciousness is the same like that. That's a true and a permanent. It's one and true. So then Mayamika said, it is the nature of merely being consciousness that is one and true. Oh, Samja said that's true. Then Mayamika, in that case, it would follow that the minds of all different individuals are one because their true are similar in the merely being consciousness. Furthermore, if you accept like that way, then all these phenomena become one. So Mayamika say, can be all this subject object become one because both exist. In that case, it would follow that the minds of all different individuals. So we all individual have different consciousness. So Shantideva said that all consciousness be different individual consciousness become one. Why it's become one? Because you accept all this consciousness is one. The reason is consciousness is clear, self-permanent. So then if you said that way, different kind of consciousness, like see, we have like 6 consciousness we have, right? So that means actually this all 6 consciousness is not permanent. It's all is a dependent object. We call the 6 consciousness is a dependent object. So this guy says, Samja says, this all different kind of consciousness actually one because they're all is clarity, permanent self. So then Mayamika said, wow, that's very funny. I never know that kind of one because we never say like many different kind is like one, So one means like you cannot have many different there. So if many different is one, he said, I never heard this before, one. So if you say like that, then all these different sentient beings consciousnesses become one, can be one. Because you see, our 6 different consciousnesses become one, and like that, all sentient beings consciousnesses become one permanent. Different individuals are one because their true are similar in merely being conscious. They can become one. The reason is all is consciousness clear, permanent self. You said that. So that means everyone is become all these sentient beings consciousness is one. Furthermore, then also the self that has intentions and the primal substance that has no intention would also become one. So he telling the samjas, you accept 2 permanents. One is like self consciousness permanent, another is primal substance permanent. Primal substance creator. So the self that has intention because it is a mind consciousness. That consciousness mind has intention, and the primal substance that has no intention because there is no mind, is creator. So this primal substance is, that didn't say object, that didn't say consciousness, between in the introducing consciousness and the object. This primal substance actually, see, this morning I share you the like same is a mirror, two side of the mirror. Another is like self-permanent consciousness into the mirror, and another is all this object is into the mirror, and then this mirror introducing this self-consciousness and this object. Then self-consciousness using all the object, experiencing all the object. But this self-permanent is just in there. He create all these things together, but he don't do anything. So that's the accept. So no mean found. Shantideva said, you have self-permanent consciousness as intention. Primal substance that has no intention could be that become a one because both are permanent. Yeah, both are exist, you accept, because they are similar in merely being existent, no ever entities. So permanent entity, you both accept exist self-permanent, must be the both the same together, because all the consciousness like see become same, right? Like that. So this also must be same. When so there's a kind of answer like Shantideva is like the even they don't want some just like this wanted, but they're just debating, and what they says become have to accept like that. You know, there's no choice. Of course, they're not going to accept like self-permanent and the primal substance accept the same. They're not going to accept the same, but the logically they have to accept the same. When particular consciousnesses, the apprehensions of sounds, visual forms, and so forth are mistaken and untrue. So then, say this when particular consciousnesses, so they have like another hand consciousnesses means like we have this self-permanent consciousness as like many different kind there, because this self-consciousness going to receive, going to experience all this five object, five senses going to receive, right? So that means five consciousness there. So the apprehension of sounds, then visual forms, and so forth, the other or the object are, then this consciousness is going to maybe receive mistaken and untrue, because the object is untrue. That's why they could be received like mistakenly. How can they have one true general aspect? They don't have a permanent one general aspect, namely a similar basis of merely being consciousnesses. Consciousness. They cannot, because it is illogical for the general aspect of something to be true when all the particular aspects are false. So anyway, this object is no exist, then this permanent consciousness cannot really receive any, going to experience any object, because object is a fur, particularly as aspects of furs means like not truly exist. I think that's the answer. That means this Shantideva just like giving this answers for them. So that means like say finish it there, or this samjas debating. So the part is just debating like who accept consciousness self-permanent is, exist. So Shantideva says cannot be exist self-permanent consciousness. So then that means like Shantideva never ever accept consciousness. Yes, he accept consciousness, but he don't accept permanent self consciousness. So that's what we have to understand. Refutation of the self postulated by the Niyaka, I think, score. So this score try to the more better than samjas, but go more worse than samjas. You know, they think they are more clever than samjas, but then actually they're saying words is more worse than samjas. Niyakas, the Niyakas accept a permanent, partless matter phenomenon with the being of an individual as the self. See, that's the accept the self permanent is no consciousness. They said, yes, if we accept consciousness as self-permanent, then it's incorrect. Like Samja says in what Mayamika debating, you know, like Samja lost. So they say, yes, I'm not going to accept permanent self-consciousness, the same as Samja says. I'm going to have different something. So then I don't have this problem, same as the Samjas. So they accept say partless, permanent is partless, matter phenomenon within the being of an individual as the self. So they accept that one. This self is claimed to be able to experience objects because it is endued with a separate mind. So that says this permanent self is phenomenal. So partless matter, it is non-consciousness, but mind can experience that self-permanent, that one. Mind can experience, but not mind. So that is the view. So no Shantideva Mayamika. Furthermore, a no-matter phenomenon cannot be the self that experiences objects because it is lacks the nature of mind, just like a jug. So easy, right? Understand very easy this one. See, furthermore, no material phenomenon cannot be the self, right? Material phenomenon object is cannot be self. That experiences object because it is lacks the nature of mind. See, no mind. Then the you say self permanent is material object. So then material object is no consciousness. How can you recognize, experience it is self? So that's why
It says
just
non-mental, not non-material. It's non-mental phenomena, not non-material.
no mental phenomenon. Yeah, okay. So that's thank you. So this is a object is no mental, like it's there's a no phenomenon like object, but it's no consciousness, right? The no except the consciousness. But then they say, okay, this object is not there, but it's something, you know, no matter phenomenon cannot be the self. So actually that self is not exist. That appearance is object because it lacks the nature of mind, just like a jug. So now you understand, right? That this main point there, except like actually also matter object, but it's a very subtle level. I check the commentary. Matek ripachi namji dobi shipa me baranji ji da pembo yinba tomba nanka tamaranji ji taba kana chaba yoba mai nanyana. So the accept is actually not consciousness, it is object. The pembo yinba. Object, but self is object. It himself is like it's the same as like space. Same as the space, and then the space provide every object, right? All the object space provide all the object. Same like this. This self-permanent is provided all the object. So that kind of the accept the self is. See, this is like didn't say exactly object, but self is object. It is permanent. It is provided all the phenomena object. So the same is the space. Space provide all the object, right? Same like the accept, but it's kind of anyway. No any logically we can approving. This is called the Kingda. Kingda means not something exists, they just create. So that's why your mind really cannot bring, oh yeah, like this, because it's wrong view, wrong view means their thought and creating their mind. So no, they really cannot point where is the self. See, that's why they say if the self is like say, okay, this cup is a self object, but then that's also like you cannot really point the exactly cup, but then they cannot point the consciousness. Then they say, okay, self is provide everything or the object. Like same is a space. So then there is no mind. Then that is an object. So you have to make decision. It's a consciousness or object. So of course he's not going to accept consciousness. Then he say, okay, object, right? Then which kind of object? Oh, provide all the object, same as the space. This self-permanent is provided all the object, same as the space. So that's the accept permanent self is. So now, Shantideva, he debating is like, say, then your self is like no consciousness, no going to any experience. So then your self is the same as like this cup. Who knows that self is, who knows, who cares? Your self is nothing useful. The main point, Shantideva say. So doesn't matter your, somewhere is yourself, but the self is nothing important because it's the consciousness is not going to experience that self. That is no consciousness. Then the same is Jack. Mayamika, still, Niyaki, although it itself is not of the nature of the mind. See, this self is no mind. It does experience because mind can be experience object because of being endued with a separate mind. So mind get experience, mind into that object, mind knows that self is there, permanently. So provide all these phenomena. So that's what they said. The Mayaminka never ever going to accept that. This is illogical. Of course, illogical, right? So for when a self, by nature not conscious of object. See, your self is not conscious as nature is not conscious of objects. Comes to be conscious of them through being endued with a mind. So then that's a mind going to receive, mind going to experience all this self permanent. It absurdly would follow that in become a conscious as self. So then that yourself is dependent on the consciousness. The non-conscious self would perish, and hence no longer be permanent as you assert. So this permanent self, then it's the permanent self is not dependent on anything others, cannot be dependent. So mind is going to experience this self-permanent. So then your self-permanent is become dependent consciousness. So your self-permanent is become dependent. It cannot be permanent. So it's self would be crashed. Your self-permanent is gone, and hence no longer be permanent. See, as you assert, you accept is no longer can be there. It's correct, right? Do you understand? Yeah. Okay, then even if the self were unchanging, so then Shantideva, if your mind is not going to experience the self permanent, then even if the self were unchanging, then whole, then what are you going to do? Is like if mind is not going to experience yourself, then what is the self? If mind is going to experience yourself, then yourself is no longer permanent, exist there. So unchanging the whole, so through being endured with a mind, could a self that is not conscious of object come to be conscious of them? So your permanent self is unchanging. Then the consciousness, what going to do with that? Because unchanging permanent self-consciousness cannot do anything with that object. So then tell me what consciousness can be do for that. Could a self that is not conscious of objects, it cannot be consciousness object that self is come to be conscious of them, then consciousness going to receive that object? Tell me. So that's the Chanti they asked, tell me, who going to receive consciousness, that object? Because your object is unchanging, permanent. Even consciousness mind is ain't going to come there, going to experience, but cannot experience. Your self-permanent is unchanging. So consciousness cannot experience your object. This would not be possible. So then that is not possible, right? Thus, if you accept as the self something that is not conscious of object because it is matter and separated from the function of producing effects because it is permanent, then space would also be a self. So then the main point Shantideva say your permanent self is not consciousness. If no consciousness cannot going to get experience, then your permanent self cannot produce any object. It's like cannot use, no use for. So space, just saying there, but no actually no there, nothing. So useless, nothing is there. So that's this debating. So I think you understand, right, that part? So this is just in this please Arizona that's it's like your internet. I don't know when you wanted to say something, it's like my voice coming back together. So that's you have all the time like that. So you can maybe
Oh,
fix that.
The
You want something, ask question. So see,
what? Did you say something to me? You froze.
oh yeah. So no is better. Yours is better, but some reasons like used to you wanted to ask something, but then my voice come back.
Oh, I wasn't asking. I just said it's, you know, I understand it somewhat. But it feels like when I go over it again, I'll probably understand it more and maybe even more. It's very, very interesting and very fun.
Okay.
We ask
Mm,
questions yet?
Okay,
No.
thanks. Yes, you can ask question, yeah. So we can okay here. So finish one section. So
I understand. I think I understand the main point being that, you know, Shantideva has shown that primal substance and consciousness, neither one are permanent. But, you know, when he's talking about the consciousnesses, it seems to me that you can hear, I guess I have a question about the nature of our consciousness, because it seems, for instance, that we can hear without an object, you know, like we hear in our dreams or maybe in the bardo.
in the dream has object.
But it's
Bardo
really
has
our
object.
own mind. It's really kind of coming from us, right?
You mean our own experience?
I mean, the sound that we perceive in the bardo or the sound we perceive in our dreams is coming from our own mind.
Yeah, then that time is to say the mind is not permanent. That's why I have subject object, right? But this is a permanent consciousness, self-permanent consciousness, unchanging.
Yes, that's been disproven. I can see that part. Also, it just seems like the Samkhya
Yeah.
school is very
So
close.
otherwise, like, very close to Chidamata, yeah.
Yes, because for instance, it seems like they're talking about the two truths, that they're really close to seeing the two truths. Their mistake is thinking that it's permanent.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, the problem is permanent, self-permanent consciousness. And then also creator is permanent. See, that's the big mistake already there.
yes.
See, they accept the creator, right? And actually, no one created this. School Samkhya says like tremor substance is going to create all these phenomena. So the creator's tremor substance, then, but he don't use anything. So then self-permanent consciousness, he going to experience all these objects. Self-permanent consciousness is no creator. He is the eater and he is a user. And all the work is this, primal substance does. Self-consciousness is actually enjoy, he use what this primal substance creating things. He didn't have work, he have all the whatever he wanted there. The work hard is like primal substance, create all the object for him. Okay. So now
Kempo?
we go to the
Kempo?
yes.
Can you say that self is permanent
Yeah,
because
please.
can you say that self is permanent because when sound is there, we hear sound, but when the sound is not there, then we hear that there's no sound. So there's something that does the hearing. Can you say it like that?
Can you say I didn't got clearly. Can you say again?
Like when sound is there, then we say we hear sound. And when sound is not there, then we say we do not hear sound. So isn't that one person?
Mm. But that means like your consciousness is not permanent. If your consciousness is permanent, then you have to hear all the time song. So you don't have like hearing time, no hearing time.
I see. Okay.
That's we can have that because our consciousness is not permanent. That's why you can hear when the song is there, you can hear. When it's no song there, you cannot hear because that means your consciousness is changing. Okay, so now we go to the next one. Next one is rejection of argument concerning identilessness. So, so first they're going to debate with cause and effect. Then second, they're going to debate with love and compassion. So that kind of like then Shantideva also he says he's not just going to rejecting interdependent, relatively like self and self. Relatively self, relatively consciousness, he not going to rejecting that. He rejecting his permanent self. So that where it's like three different levels explained. First, he going to talk about this the cause and effect. So if the self were not a permanent, see, self is not permanent, the relation between the action and its effect. So means like cause and result. The deal of the action coming to experience, the result of the action committed would not be maintained. So that's if no self is permanent, we create a cause, then the cause cannot be maintained the result. If we create a karma, but the karma is like, resorting or like be there, and when the rapid and karma is comes like result, so that cannot maintain that. This is so because the doer would perish as soon as the action was committed. When we committed action, then it's gone and would not exist at the time when it come to experience. When result is come, no result there. Experience the effects of this action. Therefore, those action would be to be experienced. The main point, so there, this debate is like who accept a permanent self. They're all together. If they don't have permanent self, then no connect with the cause and the result. So when we create a cause, is we create a cause is then the cause. This cause is become would perish. Then as soon as the action was committed, it would be not exist at the time. When means the result is when the coming result. Who going to receive the result? So we create a cause. The cause is like become perished and gone. Then wrapping in the result. Who going to receive that result? Because no self there. So that's their view. But then Shantideva say answer is the basis for the causal action, the aggregates of this life, and the basis for the ripening effect, the aggregates of the future life are distinct state of being. So Shantideva said, yes, this life, these five aggregates, we create a cause, but then when we die, future life, when we receive this, the previous life action, future life going to receive the previous life action, that time the five aggregates is different than previous life five aggregates. In this life, our five aggregates is Shantideva say, yes, it's different, no same. So then, and since in both these states, it is established both for you. So then he says, same is you and me. You also yourself, previous life self is, create the all the accumulation merit, and then the change to future life self-permanent. So it's different self-permanent receiving. Because previous life self-permanent, future life self-permanent, right? It's different. Future life who receive the result is the self-permanent is already different. So then Shantideva said, yes, the same is like that. I also accept this previous life five aggregates who create a cause of the accumulation merit, and the future life five aggregates who receive the result is different. He says, same is your, except I also same thing, different. And since in both these states, it is established both for you. So same is like you and me, because you accept our permanent self, and for us, because we accept identitylessness. So you accept permanent self. Shantideva says, I accept identitylessness self. So selflessness person. That the self neither commits the action nor experience the effect. It is not meaningless to argue on this point. So then Shantideva's just main point is your self-permanent is also different. My selflessness also different, not same. So of course, like who created result and who created the cause and who receive result is different. That's you and both we accept. Then why you say I have problem, you don't have problem? So we both have same issue that you cannot say I have that problem. We have to accept both together, same. So so that's why he says like not meaningless argue on this point. So then we both know meaning there. We are both the same issue. Yeah, understand, right? It's this who accept a permanent self, their thing is not permanent self, then they cannot receive the result. So Shantideva say yes, can receive result. Same is you. You also accept yourself is like previous life self and future life self is different. You previous life create a cause, future life self receive the result, experience the result. So different, right? Shantideva said they say yes. Then he said yes. I also same like that. Previous life five aggregates create the future life five aggregates receive. They are actually not same. Is different. But still cause and effect works for me. So Shantideva said, same is you accept permanent self, I accept selflessness of person. So works both us and no debating there. No answer also here. So you see, as the answer is finished. So no objection. So they say no, we are different. They say no, different. I cannot accept that you say we are same. So they say no, But what about action whose fruits will be experienced in this life? So they do not have different bases, aggregates, upon which the causal action is committed and the result is experienced. So le choose lo le savio pomokangi batelan legend David they don't know you. So then that says like no, we cannot say same. Mayamika, your tradition, this far aggregates, so who create this, cause? So then who going to receive the result? That's true. It's totally different. That's the reason. So your and my is different. That's like self is actually that's a self is still same. Like previous life, future life, the self is still same. So then there's a my amiga, you don't have like that because action whose fruit will be experienced, who receive this experience result in this life, that do not have a different basis, aggregates upon which the who create causal action is committed and the result is experienced. So that both are different. Who create a cause and who receive result, they're no same aggregates. So that's why these objections like this, I cannot accept your view, like Shantideva, like Mayamika view, I cannot accept. That said, I have the same because the self is the same. Previous life, future life, self is same. Previous life who create, future life who receive, the self is the same. They say you don't have like that. Your creator who create your this cause and who receive the aggregate is different, not same. So that means who create cause, who receive result is totally different person. It's your creator cannot get the result. Answer, nevertheless, in the same moment. So answer, my amiga says, nevertheless, in the same moment. It's just my amiga says same thing. What you says. It is impossible to see the aggregates of someone committing a causal action being subject to the experience of its result, just as father and his son cannot be born at the same time. So Shantideva and Mayamika say, so who create cause and who receive result cannot be same together. So see, Shantideva, he not going to accept like previous self and future self is the same. Same means like who create. So that self is then who receive that result exactly that time. Then same create who create that receive result. But then it's like change. It means like no same there, right? So just this all is like we have to put our, very subtle, go to subtle there, talking about changing moment. Shantideva says, you create cause. So who create cause? If they're going to receive, then they have to receive same time. Create and the result have to come same time. Otherwise, change there. See, it's moment to moment change. So then receiving, create or receiving cannot be same. So that's why Shantideva said, if you create, you have to receive that, who created that result have to receive that person. Then see, it is possible to see the aggregates of someone committed a causal action. So who created a cause being subject to the experience of its result just as same time, must be same time, but we never see like that. Same, just as like example, father and his son cannot be born in the same time. See, father and the son cannot be born same time. Means like you create and the result cannot be come together. Because you create cause, then the moment is going to change. If change, then creator who receiving it becomes different and cannot be same. If you want it to be same, creator wanted to get the result is you want it to be same, then cannot change the moment. If cannot change the moment, then when you create, same time you get a result. So they must be like father and son born together like that. That is not possible, Shantideva said, not possible. Objection. But it says in one scripture, so they're going to follow the Buddha's quote using, the who were someone else experience the result of the actions one commits, who see, Buddha said, who create the cause, that person going to receive the result. Who were someone else experience the result of the actions one commits, so that who create that person going to receive the result. Oh monks, the actions you committed and accumulated were not wrapping on such things as the external earth elements. So Buddha main point says, like you created the cause, the result is not going to west, like not going to wrap in and missing going somewhere. Buddha said, not possible. Your result is not going to dissolve to the earth. Your result is not going to dissolve to the elements. So you create a cause, you receive that result. The result is never going to dissolve any. The someone going to take that, not possible. You create your own action and effect is you received. Someone not going to take away from you, and that effect is not going to dissolve to the elements. But upon your feature aggregates grasped by consciousness, so does not your action contradict this statement that the doer of the action must experience its result himself? So then they say you don't have that ability. They say, Shantideva, your view is against with the Buddha's talk, and you don't have that. See, like creator king who create that get result, you don't have that. But upon your features, say aggregates, it's like your aggregates is different by consciousness. So does not your assertion contradict this Buddha statement that the doer of the action must experience its result himself? So action who create must be result the person, same person should be received, not someone else. So then answer, Shantideva give answer, this statement. So he say yes, he say he going to accept the Buddha's statement. But Buddha's statement actually supported for Shantideva's view, not their view, but actually that thing, they're correct. They use this Buddha's statement, but actually Buddha's statement is not really going to support their view. Statement is to be interpreted as follows. While actually considering the same continuity of the individual, Buddha taught that the doer of the action is the experience of the result in order to prevent people denying the law of karmic cause and effect. The Shantideva said yes, Buddha said that the reason is considering the same continuity of the individual. But aggregate continuity means it's different. Moment to moment different, but same continuity. We can say same continuity. They're going to receive it. We have same continuity, but actually our same continuity is different. Moment to moment we're changing. So it's different. They don't have a permanent continuity going on something. It's changing. This morning when I share teaching, no, your right now we're sharing teaching, you hearing the teaching, are talking, is we cannot be same person. Otherwise, must be same is morning. Time also be same. What I talked, when you hear, it's the same thing. Like we stuck here, this statement, we never can be get in this right now. We just pause there, become. So that means all is changing. Subtle level is changing. Same as the clock, clock changing, right? We are changing, but we don't recognize because we say 1 hour means actually we just bring all these minutes all together. So we say 1 hour. Actually, they're not really 1 hour permanent exist there because it's all different minutes there. So like that, we say I'm one person, but actually we're changing all the time. Moment to moment, we're changing. If we don't change that, we cannot, experience any this world. Become we are paused. So that's the reason Shantideva say yes, it's the same continuity of the individual has. So that's receiving. Buddha talked. Then Buddha also shared this. The reason is because someone against for karma cause and effect. That the deal of the action is the experience of the result. In order to, because the reason is prevent people denying the law of karma cause and effect. So that's why Buddha said, you create a karma, you receive your result. So who deny the karma cause and the effect, that's the reason Buddha talk about this cause and the effect for them. Actually, this is not so because our permanent self is non-existent. So actually the Shantideva said, the permanent self is not exist. Actually, this is not so, means cause and effect is not work for the permanent self. So permanent self is no existing, actually no exist, useless. Yeah. Can you hear or no, Esther? It's paused my video.
I can hear
Hello.
fine.
Your voice is
Okay.
good, Kimpo.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
good.
so that's good. So the logically, if you accept permanent self, then karma cause doesn't work for that person. If don't accept the permanent self, everything's impermanent, then karma cause effect also works very well. But this group didn't understand that. They think not permanent self, then cause effect doesn't work for them. Because they think permanent self create cause, also result is permanent self receive that. So actually permanent self cannot really create any cause. Permanent self really cannot receive any result. So the karma cause in the effect means like, or is like creator is not permanent, who receive also not impermanent. It is all impermanent. That's why we can create, that's why we can receive all the effect result. Okay, so no, I think we finish here today.
I have a quick question. So what aggregates continue into a future life? What aggregates continue into a future life?
So we have the same karmic imprints. This aggregates have same karmic imprint, so that's why follow.
So the only
Consciousness
aggregates that
is-
continue are the consciousness, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's continue, go to the future life.
So consciousness is an aggregate.
Yeah, one of the consciousness aggregates means we have 5 aggregates: consciousness, feeling,
Okay.
perceptions, mental forms, or this form, something like that's 5 differences. Actually, the main is like, of course, consciousness, but this all continue like going, but actually not permanent there. So if there has a lake and then they have a stream, water going, so lake is become dried, then water stream is gone. So like that, we, exhaust our karma. This all the delusion is gone. Then we don't have to continuity, go to the future life.
All right, thank you.
Isn't that what the arhats do? Don't the Tibetans, you have to come back as a bodhisattva to save others?
Ahas is a different case. So
Okay.
they have their own experience different.
Okay.
Mm.
You can look up the aggregates on the internet. Just put aggregates Buddhism. I'm telling the guy, not you.
Uh,
Yeah, I hear you. Thank you.
Kempo, I had this weird little reaction to the father and son aren't born at the same time. Because I mean, I understand 2 people don't show up in the planet at the same time, but the role of father and the role of son manifest at the same time. I just thought it was, I didn't like it as an example. I felt like my brain was just going, no.
are you sure?
Yeah, when the baby's born, the father becomes a father. Yeah, but I understand.
Father and son is born together, of course they have together, of course, like father create son, it's the same time, when son born, father can be there, but no father is born same time, right?
Right,
Then,
right. Yeah, right. I just wish I could, argue. I do a Shanti Deva myself.
So,
So
go ahead, Kempo.
So we create the cause, and say actually, we think it's like we creating, right? We are created like accumulation merit. We create, but when you create, the result is like who receive is cannot be same person, because means like continuity is different. The moment is already changed.
And it's not really explained how somehow your karma follows you around.
Karma follow the round is because the karma is in this way followed for you, like same the same continuity of the individual. So that's why you create karma, they follow that way. So logically, like permanently cannot prove me.
Kimbola,
Yes.
may I ask? This kind of philosophical debate, is it because of according to the Hindu tradition, the idea of liberation is the Atma, to go back to the Brahman. So that's why self is important in the Hindu belief. So the Buddhists, again, the Buddha saying, no, there's no self. From the very early teaching, it's no self. We know that. But
this kind of debate when sometimes they were to debate with other school from the Buddhist form, I felt that the no self is actually a contrast to the Hindu Atman idea. So Buddhists believe that the liberation is not about self. It's to find out there's no self, there's emptiness, and that's the liberation. So when Santideva was debating about this self, this concept, this philosophical concept, and used all these kind of examples, is it just for academic, for the school arguing, or is it really related to liberation? Like this
Can you say again
argument,
the last part, please?
like the debate, the purpose of this debate, like if I understand, oh, those cells from the Madhyamika school, emptiness, sunyata is no self, and is it really this debate related to liberation?
Yes,
Related
yes,
to freedom?
exactly.
I don't, because I feel that it's just like
That's
Valentina
exactly the Nagarjuna say exactly like that. You know, no Nagarjuna, you know, the Chandrakirti in the middle way part, he also going to share this wisdom chapter. The Chandrakirti wisdom chapter is a little bit different in this. It's so then also Chandrakirti also going to debating with this non-Buddhist. He said, I'm going to follow the Nagarjuna. Nagarjuna all debating with so many these different schools because he's not attached to the debate. He only showing for liberation. His debate is wanted to share the show the liberation for others. No, our mind is not stuck somewhere else.
So liberation, what is the liberation related to? I know that that's the sound is doesn't I don't hear the sound, and then so that's the sound is permanent, impermanent, and whatever. What's that related to
So
liberation?
if you the liberation is like you know something permanent there, then you of course actually reality is we not permanent reality that this Madhyamika is talking about reality, truth. Truly we are not permanent exist. And if you knows that, then you really knows emptiness. You knows emptiness, then you get that realize you not attached to any this object, no fixation to any object, subject and object. Become your mind is liberated.
I thought only the scholar interest in this subject object. If practitioner who doesn't care about this subject object, isn't it?
Yes, but you just practicing in your ritual heart, no one come to you, get you, right? But if you really go to follow the scientists, and you have to go to with like other non-Buddhist schools, then you have to know these things. Like then you say, okay, we believe like that way. You know, that's what I'm doing, right? That's why I'm meditating. That's why I'm practicing. So you have reason for right something.
So this kind of debate only training us to debate with other people. It's not. My main point is when we practice step by step, do we have to know
Yes.
this one all these schools teaching?
So actually, this debating is a training. Is our mind. So actually, we have this wrong view and thoughts. So that's why you say, oh, I have this wrong view. It's incorrect. You have to release that wrong view, your mind.
But if I don't
Do you
even
understand
have those,
what I mean?
yeah, I understand what you mean. But if I'm not a philosopher, I don't have all those views, and I don't understand why that related to my own practice. To know,
Oh, yes,
okay,
if that related.
Father will not be born as the son and father will not be born in the same time. Of course, that I know. But why do I have to know that to
So that is
practice?
not only just, that is the example, you know, Shantideva said that is like example is like no possible example, no possible example. And you accept that, you know, Shantideva debating with this non-Buddhist, if you accept that, then you have to accept like this kind, you know, impossible things. So anyway, he just not saying like this kind of like happening together. He said this is impossible. You know, if you accept permanent creator self, the create accumulation merit, then you're going to receive the result is like this happening. You know, you must be same time receive. Cause result must be same time. You know, that is not possible. So not possible father son born together.
I still don't see that what is the point for
No,
my own liberation, my own
you,
path.
I think, Lami, you get lost understanding. I think you understanding many here, and you know, like Shantideva's teaching, and you understanding emptiness means, you know, no permanent self. I think you understanding lots there. Even you uh, still no accept, but I think you're going to slowly accept. Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Maybe your mouth is not accepting, but your heart already accept.
No, I just feel that when I practice, I want to know that do I do it right, do I do it wrong, but I don't understand what this self, not self, is that important. I know that from the Buddhist point of view is no self. That's from the very beginning, the Buddha say no self, that's no self, because our attachment related to self. So if we break the attachment to relate to the self, then we are liberated. But I don't understand this debate going on and on and
Yes, so
on.
you, long as you know, so like self is no exist, you know, long as you know all this object is no exist, then you don't have attached to longer in the fixation to the object, anything, right? Your mind is free from all the
Yes,
object.
I don't think they are not exist. They just not permanent exist. They
Yes,
exist,
no
you know.
permanent exist. That's right.
Isn't it
Yes,
true?
that's enough already. Like you don't accept permanent. Yeah,
No, I
if you
don't
don't accept permanent, that means then no.
I lost you. Campbell, I
Yeah,
couldn't hear
if
you.
you don't accept, you accept, right? You accept impermanent, right?
Yes, I accept impermanent.
Okay, so then that means like you accepted no exist.
Not permanent exist.
Okay, so good.
Okay, thank you, Campbell.
You're welcome.
Kempo, there was a comment in the chat earlier today. Can I ask about that?
Yes.
Okay. So they were discussing that they said that the point is the teaching seems to be a dogma requiring anything which is eternal to be unable to change or unchanging. So I think that there were questions about the words permanent and eternal, like eternal meaning lasting or existing forever without an end or a beginning, and that those are used the same. And I think that there was equating them as the same didn't seem correct, because to say what is permanent does not change in the relative world is acceptable, but to speak of what is eternal, so it lasts forever, it goes on from beginning to end, it seemed like something different. So could you speak to those two things, like a permanent and eternal thing?
I really don't understand the question. Sorry about.
Yeah, it's a little complicated because it has a lot to do with the English. It's a little bit of a language thing, you know, permanent, something that continues to exist, and eternal, which is also existing from beginning.
Yeah.
It's lasting
Just
or
I think
existing.
question like exist means like, of course, relatively exist, right?
Yes, and they
So
were saying,
that is
yeah,
like
that makes
they were not wrong saying like relatively no exist. Relatively exist, but it's permanently no exist. Like say permanent means internally no exist.
so. So even
that's
though
just
do we? I'm sorry.
then just think about read again like what that talk already like discussion started like self means permanent, unchanging, you know. Then we already talking about this all the way like see it's unchanging, permanent, self always have to hear the sound. So that means like say then you understand that we're not talking about your consciousness cannot hear the sound. Actually, I talked that or explained. I think if I understand the question is, I talked already. Morning answer is all is there. But that just coming back again. It's like question the what taught teaching answer is coming back to again question.
I think the complication becomes into what is permanent and what is eternal. You know, I mean, in our language, we have the words permanent, which goes on forever, and eternal, which is lasting or existing forever. And I think there was a question why they couldn't be used the same. So are you saying nothing would be permanent and nothing would last forever? Nothing would be eternal?
Okay, so that I think good is
Everything's impermanent.
we all discussion about that.
Auntie Davies.
I'm sorry.
Everything's impermanent. Everything, even the mind itself, which was surprising to me when I heard it. So.
Yes.
Is awareness impermanent as well?
Everything is impermanent. Please don't pick up anything there. Everything means everything, right?
Kempo, I think the question is
no,
what is permanent and what is eternal? You know, because you.
But we don't have any permanent.
I heard you say several or read several times like we cannot fall on eternalism, and for us, eternal and permanent are almost the same. We just wanted to know what's the difference between eternal and permanent in Buddhism.
Internalism means like that who accept a permanent. That is called internalism. But Mayamika said nothing is permanent in this world. So that is like proving logically if it's something permanent, then we cannot receive anything. Example, like we already told Thomas is like permanently exists the Father, then everyone have to see Thomas is Father. All sentient beings have to see he is a Father. So that kind we don't have, right? That means we don't have anything permanent in the world. Don't think about something permanent exist in the world. We don't have anything permanent exist. So then conscious is no permanent subject. Consciousness is no permanent object. Everything is no permanent. It's always impermanent.
And then nothing would be eternal because nothing lasts, nothing goes on forever, nothing remains.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, so they
So-
are, we use them in the same way for Buddhism.
There's a-
In terms
Right now,
for
for
Buddhism.
Buddhist, here is like Shantideva is talking about the reality, nature
Okay.
of phenomena. So
Okay,
he is not follow the Buddha or other against, like he just is like talking about the reality, nature of phenomena. He said nothing is permanent in this world. That is the reality.
and nothing is eternal.
Yeah, of course. Then nothing is eternal means like nothing is permanent existed. Then that's it.
Okay,
Thank you, Kempo.
thank you.
Yeah, there also something is permanent. Then all the sentient beings have to see that permanent. Because it's that object is permanent, it's unchanging, right? We don't have like that kind of anything in this world, right? That means nothing is permanent. So we already told to see this Thomas, if he's the father is permanent, then all sentient beings have to see he is a father. All sentient beings father is Thomas. We don't have like that, right? That means like father is not exist. Nothing is permanent.
He's too young to be my father.
Everyone,
I said he's too young to be my father.
I cannot hear anything, no.
Thomas is not old enough to be my father. Lost
Can
him.
you hear again? Well,
Well, it was funny the first time, I thought.
can you hear us now, Kempo?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so now we go to do the dedication.
Kempo, can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
I don't know. Thank you. Um, can you hear? Can you hear me?
Can you hear? Yes.
Okay, thank you. I know you've taught us this before, but I feel like I need to ask again. After we die, if we see our Dharma Dhatu ground consciousness, if we recognize that, then at that moment, does that clear away all karma just in that instant?
Oh, you mean clarify karma that time, you mean?
Does it remove all of our karma in that instant?
Could be. It's that is in the Genji Mahamudra said, long as you recognize your nature mind, you know, see eons karma is purifying.
Okay, and then if say a practitioner gets to the level of being able to practice Mahamudra, it takes habituating that. It's not just one instant that it clears away all that karma. In other words, is it more powerful if we see it after we die, if we recognize it?
Loosely, yes. I think in the Pardo, if you recognize their own nature, so that is very powerful, right? It's the possible to liberation. That's just the teaching says. I think so.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I don't know, but loosely, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So Marilyn, you say something or no?
When you were talking about Thomas, I said, he's too young to be my father, so he can't be a father to every being.
Of course, that means like the father, he is not permanently exist, father.
Exactly. That was what I was saying.
Okay.
But I thought I was funny. I don't know.
So anyway, like if something object permanent. All these beings have to see exactly that. But that we don't have any object like that, right? That means nothing is permanent, inherently exist in the world. So all is impermanent. That is a reality, nature of a phenomena. Shanti Deva, he's not going to create anything. He's just talking about the reality, truth. Okay, so now we're going to do the prayer. Okay, Thomas, please read the prayer. Oh, Mother Saint Jinping's Father Thomas.
Thank you, Kempo.
Thank you.
Emaho. In the center is the marvelous Buddha Amitabha of boundless light. On the right side is the Lord of great compassion. On the left is Vajrapani, the Lord of powerful means. All are surrounded by limitless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Immeasurable peace and happiness is the blissful, pure land of Dewa Chen. When I and all beings pass from samsara, may we be reborn there without taking samsaric rebirth. May I have the blessings of meeting Amitabha face to face. By the power of the blessings of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, may we attain this aspiration without hindrance. Tayata Panchadriva Avabodhinaya Soha. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind. Where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. By this virtue may I achieve omniscience by defeating all enemies, confusion. May all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. As Manjushri the warrior realized the ultimate state, and as did Samatamaja, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all the merits for all sentient beings. May the teachings of the great Drikungpa Ratnashri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, everyone. Good
Thank you so
evening.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone.
Kempo.
Thank you,
Tomorrow.
everyone.
Thank you, Kempo.
Thank you.
Tempo.
Thanks, Tempo. Thank you.
See you
Great teaching.
tomorrow.